That quote is very hard to follow, really, but I think I work for Sobel House. We're the adult hospice on the Churchill side. I was just thinking, as listening to you speak, saying that you've been here 2 weeks, I started 5 years ago, about, I think, last week. I spoke at the network 5 years ago, so yeah, but I love what I do. I work for an adult hospice. Every day I'm talking to people about what we do, and we basically provide end-of-life care for adults throughout Oxfordshire. In the actual hospice, we've got an 18-bed unit. We've got a day centre in normal times where people come and spend a day there over a set number of weeks. We've got our community nurses who go out and about in our community, and we've got a big unit at the John Radcliffe in wherever it is over there. And that's, we're not necessarily doing the caring per se in the hospital. We are working with the carers who do the caring, if that makes sense. And the hospital is obviously a place where people want to get better, but there's a lot of people who will end their days in the John Radcliffe. But you know, what is a hospice like? What is Sobel Hospice like? I would say it's not a sad place, but it's a place where there is sadness. That's what I think it's about. And we try to take people on a journey, which obviously, by the nature of what we do, will end in the end of their lives. But we also try to take their family on that journey too. And we are an adult hospice, so we look to adults from 18 up to 100, 105. We have had 19-year-olds in there, and we do see a lot of people in their 40s and 50s as well. And I would say, what is a sad sight for me, and it's probably saying what you were saying about bereavement of kids. If you see a 13-year-old boy coming into the hospice to visit his dad, I find those really quite moving. And after 5 years, I still am quite moved thinking about that sort of. And I feel a bit moved now actually, because you see it. But but I want to be moved because I want to tell people what we do. And just finally, I think what have we seen over the last 20 months? Well, we've seen chaos at times. We've seen people being brought into the hospice right at the beginning of the pandemic, and they were sort of saying goodbye to their loved ones in the reception area in a way because they weren't sure whether they could actually go in. And Sobel is not like that. Sobel is a place where, in the old days, and those old days will come back, you could have 15 to 20 members of the family in the building. You'd see that. And then, but over the pandemic, we were sort of saying, well, you can only have a visitor if you are desperately ill. I mean, this seems ironic, really, but obviously everybody who comes to Sobel House is desperately ill. But if that illness is you've only got 24 hours to live, perhaps. So that's hard for the families, but it's also very hard for my colleagues, because that's just going against everything that they believe in. They want to bring people together and right at the end. But what I'll also say about a place like Sobel, if you want to see real kindness, you go where people are really desperate. And I don't think you really experience that kindness. I mean, I've in my own life, I've experienced serious illness twice. And you only see that kindness when you are right down there. And the people I work with, however they do it, they have an ability to support people at what is a horrific time in their lives. And for me, it's just a real privilege. And just finally, I'm like you, I'm going on and on. Sorry. Can I keep going? I keep going because in a way,
you've got another 10 minutes.
That's all right. It becomes, I suppose, and I think all my colleagues in the charity sector will agree that it just becomes part of your DNA, doesn't it? You want to talk. You don't want to bore people. You want to tell people. Like, you want to tell people about what you do because you're pleased about what you do. But what we have seen, and the word that I think has resonated with me over the last 20 months is the word kindness, really. We have seen so much kindness shown to Sobel House. I mean, during the lockdown, heading to market every Tuesday for about 3 months, a different stall would bring in some food for the staff. And none of my colleagues have been starving over the last 20 months. They're all paid, they're all part of they're all NHS paid staff. But so it wasn't that because they needed the food, but I think they just needed someone to show them some kindness and to encourage them. And that's what we have seen. So obviously we don't want to ever have gone through the last 20 months. But there's aspects of it that have hopefully made us a better human beings, better kindness. And I think it's it's turned on its head what, you know, who the real important people are, and the people who are really important, the people who do the caring, is my colleagues who clean the bedrooms. It's Sarah who cooks the meals. It is the consultants. It is the nurses. Everybody who just contributes, but also it's everybody here as well. I mean, we get so much kindness shown to us from this network and from so many businesses who want to do things for us. So yeah, thank you. I'm just a bit put off by this Leeds United football top here. So I'm going to the scarf there as well. So I'm just slightly put off by that. But you know, massive thank you to everybody who has supported us on the last 20 months especially. You know, we are really, really grateful. And that lovely quote about we make a living out of what we get and a life out of what we give. You know, and I've seen so many people giving so much. So it's been a real joy. Thank you.
Thank you so much.